Recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're building or buying or selling a home, the Real Estate Crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holtshouser,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Welcome and thanks for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party. Tony V, who's rolling something right now. You got rolling papers.
I got rolling papers. I got all kind. I already brought gifts and
We got Artie Januario
You bought me
here.
a box of cigars, which I am grateful for. Happy
Yeah.
holidays.
We're having a nice holiday celebration
it's
here.
great.
Well, that felt bad because Artie gave us some nice presents last time.
Can
he
I
was
have
on.
one of those eyeglass cleaners? Because I didn't clean my glasses. I
You guys
actually
think
gave
you
them
should have
mine.
maybe prepped this before the show to
They were-
start cleaning up?
Well,
and
they were in my glove compartment. I said, I think Tony would like these.
So we don't have Kathy Holtshouser today, and she
Oh, they-
told me not to make fun of her in the
They
whole
work
show.
great. No, we send our best. She's under
yeah.
the weather.
She's under the weather.
Yeah.
But sometimes, and you guys must get this
Yeah.
too once in a while, where you work like a Friday night for those 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Saturday night for 20 minutes.
Every now and again.
Tuesday half hour here
Yeah.
for the podcast.
Yeah.
You just need some downtime.
You need a lot
You
of
do.
downtime.
You know? I mean, this must
Well, for
wait.
you with Kathy, I got to think there's a fine line between her, being healthy and being sick. For the amount you see her. You know what I mean?
Now what she does is she calls in well.
Yeah. I'm feeling too good
I'll
to come
be in
work.
today.
Yeah.
If she was here, she'd tell us about one of our favorite paralegals used to call around 11-ish
Yeah.
and say, I'm coming in a little bit late today.
You're already a little late.
You're already a little
11,
bit late,
yeah.
and this is what I want for my lunch order. But hey, that was years ago. We got a lot to go over today. Oh my God.
Funny you should ask. The Fed is about to announce they're not raising rates.
Wow, look at
In
you.
preparation for a rate cut next year.
Imagine that.
Yeah, so the soft landing seems
Is
to be here,
starting.
and things are going to turn around.
So we're going to start getting some lower rates.
and
out
I
there.
only said that so we would have something to put a clip out with.
Yeah.
Oh,
So now we can
so
go
we
on
have
with
Lu-
foolishness.
We can have Lindsay Sabatella get that one little
that
reel
one
out.
little thing.
and then we're
Right.
done.
I
That-
just gave real information.
And I was going to say there's a house down the end of my street that
For sale?
had an open house.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And I went in.
yeah.
And so that's how you got the toilet paper.
Oh.
Right? Well, you
Well,
can find Christmas gifts at these open houses. This is what I'm saying.
that's
when
do
they
your
say
shopping
open house, it doesn't mean you can go in and openly take anything you want.
I thought
Apparently
everyone.
it does. I think you're misinformed, Rick Carter, because apparently it means
open.
exactly that.
And only go when it's really crowded.
Yeah.
So nobody
Sure.
notices your.
Are you one of those who, if you see an open house, you go in just to see what the neighbor's house
No,
looks
Mike
like?
does that though.
Oh, Mike definitely does
he
that.
goes into houses and stuff.
yeah.
My brother does too.
Does
The
he?
Houses he could never afford.
He just
Right.
goes
He goes,
in.
oh, this is nice, and they walk around. Oh, this is beautiful.
Mike's might be selling again and buying.
He's buying another one.
No.
Yeah.
It's
He
He
buys
does it more than I get sneakers.
He does like I do toothbrushes.
Right, yeah.
You know?
he's flipping without flipping.
I think he likes the action.
Yeah, he
You
does.
know what I mean? Of,
I've always said, if
I'll
he's
give
ever
you
gonna
cash.
buy-
I'll
if
give
he's
you
ever
cash.
gonna-
Well, no, if every 2 years, a year and a half, you can make yourself 50 or 60 grand.
Yeah.
I
You know what I mean? Why would
This one, he's so aggressive, he hasn't hit the two-year mark.
mark,
That's
yeah.
it. Actually, put this on one of our reels, Lindsay Sabatella, if you're watching. You got to make sure you're there for 2 years. That way you don't get hit with all the capital gains.
Oh, you got to be somewhere for 2
They have
years.
to be at least 2 years?
Should be 2 years.
I didn't know
that's
that.
good knowledge.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Reel that one
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Because now what would happen if you bought a house and
Yeah.
say you didn't like it and
Yeah.
you felt very remorseful?
Yeah. Oh,
How would
he's good.
now
Yeah.
would
Maybe, first of all, they should listen to the Real Estate House Party so they won't feel remorseful.
Right.
But your question is, what happens then? Well, a lot of times they don't make their money. Matter of fact, sometimes they lose money.
like what if the marriage falls apart?
You
or
lose
something
money
like that?
if you flip it too soon.
yeah, if the property value hasn't gone up.
Oh, I see.
Because then you got to pay, and you probably can write all this stuff off. Call your accountants to verify a lot of this information
Oh,
we
that's
talk
a good
about
thing.
today.
About how long does it usually take for a house to turn
Appreciate
around?
in value?
Yeah, appreciate
Well,
in value.
geez, I mean, the last few years, every 6 months it'd be going up. So
Okay.
So if you kept it for a while. So, but if you're selling it the next day because you don't like it,
Right.
maybe we should have a show sometime on buyer's remorse so they won't
Yeah.
have that.
What are we doing today?
Let's scrap this whole thing. Let's
No,
talk
no,
buyer's
no. We'll do that next week. I'll
Okay,
be
let's
here.
do that next week.
I'll study
let's
up on it.
Let's do buyer's remorse today.
Okay.
All
All right?
I have that when I go to dinner a lot. I order something on the menu, like,
And I-
man,
You're one of
this
those.
sucks.
I was out to dinner the other night, and they wanted, they couldn't. I said, just make a decision. I
was at a.
and then they had to sample everyone else's to see if they made the right choice or not. It's
I was
just
at a Chinese restaurant. I'm not even sure if it was Chinese. It's one of those Asian people. And
Oh, boy.
I ordered
Is there a warning yet?
a mani mani dani. And I said, it's something I can say. So I ordered that, and it was so.
Now, what would attract
it was
you about
so-
buying a mani Dani?
Because it
What
said,
was
you
it?
could say it?
Well, it said noodles. And
Okay.
So I figured, all right.
Noodles are good.
But they were
Noodles are
very
good.
spicy. So too spicy. Like, as soon as you ate it,
Oh, you mean Dan Dan noodles? They call them Dun Dun or Dan Dan.
Yeah, Dan Dan Mani.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, those are good. With
Danny
chicken.
Danny Mani.
Sure.
No, there was no.
No chicken?
No, there was
Just
no
spicy
meat.
noodles.
It was just all kinds of heat. It was like I was eating
You ate a bowl of hot.
Yeah, I had a bowl of heat. So I was very remorseful.
Well, I'll bet
You know,
later on.
You know they sell heated ice cubes now?
Heated ice cubes.
Yes.
And the purpose of that is...
They're like grilled. I don't know if Chrissy's ever heard of this. She's usually a
Grilled?
person.
Wouldn't they
Grilled
melt?
They throw-
I don't live in the realm of grilled frozen things.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
So they
No.
throw those on the grill. I guess they spice them up. Obviously, you can't leave them on too long. But yeah, that's another. Yeah. You're the one
like
buying
you
meanie,
just-
meanie,
Well,
Danny.
who even
I think
thinks of
that's
You know.
foolish.
It's the same people who sold the pet rocks.
I guess.
There's a rock for sale.
But, so you spice up an ice cube,
Yep,
put it
throw
on the grill.
It grills up a little bit.
Yeah, and then you
obviously
put it
gotta
in a drink,
And then I don't
you
know
get
if
the
it's just a
spice?
drink. It's just that's it.
and you suck on it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh my god! I just googled it. It's a thing.
It
It
is.
is.
A thing, I know.
And what's it used for, Chrissy?
I know.
Like eating. Like it literally. I'm looking at some here
I know.
that it looks like it looks like dumplings with like shit
I
on
know.
top and sorry swearing and sesame seeds on it.
Well,
Like,
you
what the-
certainly don't work for the company with
On an
that
ice
advertisement.
on an ice cube?
Yeah. Yeah, you throw it on. Yeah. I don't make stuff
I
up
can't
here on the
even-
real
Okay,
estate
well,
house.
the question is, Tony, how do you know about this?
How do I know about what?
The ice cube
see
fried.
there?
I'm
ice
the one who
cube.
knew about
that
it.
Rick
Yeah, yeah.
brought it up.
Yeah.
It does. It looks like a dumpling.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of a,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna break your teeth on it. Let me
Yeah,
bite
yeah,
that
yeah.
real quick.
and then
yeah.
you just suck on it for a while, and you
guess.
get
Oh,
seeds.
it doesn't have to actually go in your mouth. It can go in other places.
Hey.
Whoa.
Hey, just because you're a pharmacist and have seen
Do I need to
everything
put
in
an
the
18
world.
plus warning on this show? Hello.
Hey, while we have you here, we're going to announce that probably Artie's going to be with us for our next few sessions, right?
He is.
Awesome.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a good man. That's
He's going to be here
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
And probably a couple more weeks. He doesn't know that yet, but
That's
we're,
all right. He's retired. He
It
doesn't
means
have
I
anything
have
to
nothing
do.
else to do. I have nothing.
He's got
so
nothing.
that's the
going on.
criteria to
I
come
have
on our
nothing
show.
going on.
Nothing to go on.
It's been working for me for years.
I called Tony yesterday
Yeah.
and said, Kathy's sick. I mean, should we just push it off? We have, he says, well, I'm going to be there anyway.
Yeah, I come up here to smoke, and the show gets in the way, and then I
He
go
was
back
just
and
in the
smoke.
other room. He's smoking, talking with all his friends.
Yeah.
David.
We used to
and
laugh
Ed.
about our pre-show preps.
Yeah.
They're really gone downhill.
Oh,
You're
way.
literally coming out of the smoking
Yeah.
area at 12:29.
Yeah.
And then
He goes, ooh, I can't believe
boy,
what time it
I
is.
gotta bang out that show
Time
before I
flies
get
when I'm over here. He goes, I got that show.
Yeah, I walked in at like 11:15, and then the next thing I know, Chrissy goes, "It's time to go to work," and I go, It was like it reminded me of a story years ago at the Ding Ho,
Yeah.
the Chinese restaurant
yeah.
where we started comedy. And I was just telling this story to somebody the other day. We used to do shows Tuesday night through Sunday, so Monday was dark.
Jeez,
And
Tony,
then
really?
Sunday night, the doors would lock, and we'd stay a little bit longer and do whatever.
Yeah.
And one night, they locked the doors. We started playing cards in the back room. And then literally the next thing I remember is someone tapped me on the shoulder, and they go, "You're on." And I go, what? They go,
was-
you're on next. And I
It
go,
was Tuesday
"Hey,"
night?
Yeah, I go, it's Monday morning. They go, no, it's Tuesday night.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yep.
Was that in the 80s?
That was in the 80s. That was in the 80s. Yeah.
Do you remember any other stories? From the
Dude,
80s?
that's pretty much it.
Did you hang around with these guys
No,
in the 80s?
No, he
God.
caught us late.
I would
he
be
caught us
dead.
in the
Yeah.
early
They would be
2000s.
dead. I was a pharmacist. They would
I
have all been
know.
dead.
You're right.
Here's the funny thing about Artie and I. We're
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday night. Here's the funny thing about Artie and I. We're a couple years off in age, but not,
Yeah,
in
not
the
too much.
same,
Yeah.
but in the same area.
Yeah.
I started younger
Yeah.
than him.
And
You're like Rodney Dangerfield.
as we talked about concerts and parties and stuff like
Yeah.
that, there's a good chance we were around each
Like
other.
the
We were-
1972 Who concert.
Yes, we were
Yeah.
definitely there together, and there'd be parties in Revere would go to, or Salem
Yeah.
or whatever, and there's a
Somerville.
good chance we were at the same function.
Oh, yeah.
Parties
I
and
never knew it.
concerts.
Is that where you met Lenny Clark the first time, pretty much, in Revere at one of these functions?
Yeah, no, we were playing. He was dating a girl in Revere, a friend of mine's sister.
Okay.
Well, there was about 5 brothers, and she was the only sister, and Lenny was dating her. And
Okay.
so it was a Sunday. We were playing flag football
Yeah.
in. No, not flag, just touch.
Yeah.
Touch
Yeah.
football across from their house on the Parkway.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were like, we
And
gotta
Lenny
check
pulls
this
in.
out. Who's this idiot? He's
Did your opinion ever change?
He's sniffing around Laureen, and we're like, who the hell is this jerk? And he's very brash, and he's blah, 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 blah,
Really?
blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
wow,
Yeah,
that's-
he's very
that's
loud.
never
and
changed.
we weren't like that. The Italians
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
You
like,
know-
what's he?
Yeah.
Like blah, 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 blah.
We're talking about buyer's remorse. I wonder if you can have a life remorse.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like in the last part of your life, you're going, geez, I wasted.
That's not the life I wanted.
That's not what I had planned.
That's not what I ordered.
I love Lenny's story about his do-over, but what would you be your do-over?
I don't know that I would do anything over.
Okay.
I mean,
All right, good
all
answer.
kidding aside.
Yeah.
You know, when I found, the comedy group that I ended up with,
Yeah.
I really felt like I found my tribe. Like this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
my
yeah.
home. Like,
Oh, they're definitely-
because I think for comedians especially, you wander around thinking you're the only one with these twisted thoughts.
Oh,
in your
yeah,
head.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
to the outside world, polite society, you're an anomaly.
Yeah.
And
now
then you find these people and you go, oh shit, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah, yeah.
These people think like I do,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a very comforting thought. For
Well,
better
that's how
or worse.
we got together way back when. I wasn't in the comedian world, but you said,
No, you'd come to shows and
Yeah,
then,
and we'd just hang out
hang
back
out, yeah.
out back of Prince. He said, "Oh, this guy kind of thinks like me."
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
It's good.
It's good. It's good.
All right, so
It
remorse.
takes a while, you know.
It takes a while.
If I had to do it over again, I'd be a real estate lawyer.
Why? Because of our cushy life.
No, just you know, sure.
Yeah. I'd like to be a
You
pharmacist.
make a lot of money not doing a lot.
I'd like to be a pharmacist down Providence Town. That would be pretty good.
No, you're
No.
not far from gay enough.
All right, somewhere.
Somewhere.
I'd like to work at the Super Stop and Shop.
Yeah, that's where you'd have
Yeah,
to be.
that's where I'd have to go. All right. So that's it.
Seekonk.
So what? Seekonk?
That's completely polar opposite of Providence Town. I know. So,
Yeah,
buyer's remorse.
buyer's remorse.
Have you ever had buyer's remorse? Like when you're buying a car saying, oh, God, what did I do? Have you ever had that?
No.
Nope.
No.
Okay, all right. Thank you for joining us here today on the Real Estate House Party.
I'm sorry to
like-
disappoint, but
Looks like I might have to run with this whole show here. So 99% of the people in the world, when they're making a big purchase, always seem to have that kind of dissonance.
well, that's because it's a big purchase. Like you mentioned cars.
Oh, okay.
I always buy used crap cars.
so it didn't really phase you. all
Yeah,
right.
so what do you expect if it falls apart? You spent $3,000 on the thing. It's not like
Now,
I'm-
now when you bought your house, did you have any regrets, or did you say,
Well, yeah, because I had to borrow the money from
Right.
a loan shark
Yeah.
for the
Oh,
down
that's
payment.
right. You told me that.
So that
Yeah.
was my only remorse. But after that was paid off and stuff, I said, yeah, it's all right.
All right, how about you?
Yeah. No. See,
When you bought your house.
my house was sort of just fell in my lap. Like I
Right.
didn't have time to think about it.
Right.
I was renting.
Right.
The-
Plus, you got a real good deal.
Yeah, and the owner.
So there was no remorse. On
no,
your
there was
mind.
no remorse
Right,
at
right.
all. Yeah, the
Right.
remorse comes now where I'm still stuck with it.
Same here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
So
my
post-
remorse. I was going
post-closing
to buy
remorse.
another
Right.
house like 10 years in, but
Yeah,
it was like,
yeah.
oh, the kids are in school. Blah,
Right.
blah.
Yeah, it was
Once-
the same with
once
me.
you get entrenched
Once
with
I
it.
owned the house, then it was
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I
once-
stopped going to LA and stopped chasing my,
Yeah,
the
once
thing.
you
And,
anchored
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
forget it.
Yeah.
When you anchored in like that.
yeah,
Right, right.
And then the
Like-
kids come along and they're an albatross around. your
Right.
neck.
Oh, well, what about my friends? We can't move to the suburbs.
Right.
or
So
something.
now the remorse is coming out.
Yeah.
All right. So they're doing a lot of surveys and studies lately, especially during the pandemic. People were just kind of buying kind of willy-nilly and weren't really doing. So I'm going to give you the conclusion first. To avoid buyer's remorse, you got to do your homework.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Of course.
You got to do your homework. So
You shouldn't just go into a house purchase blindly.
Right.
Although
right.
nowadays the rents are so high that it's cheaper to have a mortgage almost.
Oh, that's
if you
in
come
theory. So they're good with the idea of doing it, but then maybe the selection they chose
Right.
might not have been the right one. We had a guy who called me the day of the closing and said, "I'm not coming to closing." I said, "Well, you might lose your deposit money." He says, "Well, the condo's nothing like I saw online." I go, "Well, when
You didn't go visit it?
You didn't go visit it?"
Right.
He goes, "No." He says, "No." I said, "Did you do a home inspection?" He goes, "Nope." I said, "Did
What
you
an
have
idiot.
anyone look at it for you?" He goes, "No, I was just pretty much buying it sight unseen, and now that I go there, the floors are all warped. The pictures don't. I mean, the house didn't look anything like the pictures I
Rooms
saw.
are smaller than they
Rooms are
appeared.
smaller, so they're doing surveys on that. So that's one of the first things they're starting to say about buyer's remorse. That
Yeah.
the buyers are buying something and it's they're buying the house and it's either
Well, did he buy it to live in or is it an
To live
investment?
in.
Oh, boy.
yeah.
It's like a bad blind date is what that is.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got to
yeah.
see
There you
what
go.
you're getting.
Wow, this
Right.
one's way bigger than she told me she was. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
It's
It's
good,
just
you know?
misrepresentation.
Misrepresentation,
Yes,
that's
right,
it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Not that we're not disappointed
No,
when
no,
you're
no.
all 300 of
Not
of you
that
are
I'm
coming.
any picnic. I'm sure people have looked at me and went, that? All right.
All right, so that's one of the first. So I guess my point is, why don't they all look at this survey and these studies and see what every other person has remorse about, and then try to think about it beforehand. All right.
So we're reverse engineering
Let's
this.
reverse engineering
Okay,
today. What do you think
great,
about
beautiful.
that? Let's reverse engineering. So, all right. So, fearing they overpaid for their home seems to be the one, one of
Yeah.
the top ones, because during that period, people kept outbidding each other.
Right.
So I'm not sure if they were actually paying the market value or they were making the new market value. So I think they're overpaying a tad.
Right.
Well,
Well,
and
because they
plus-
get in a bidding war.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and then it becomes, what was I going to say?
You don't want
I
to
forget.
lose.
No, it's
no,
like
you're
an
right.
investment. They think like, oh, I'm going to buy property and the value's going to go up.
Right,
but what if
right.
it doesn't go up?
Right.
So,
So that's
now
what-
they're like, oh, why did I do that?
Right. So they might want to think about that beforehand. Maybe get some comps.
Right.
Maybe
You can't buy a house on speculation.
Right.
That's
right,
their problem.
Right.
you know?
Exactly. Exactly. So,
See, I think there should be a honeymoon period.
oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
get to live in a house
Yeah.
for like a month
Yeah.
before you decide,
Yeah.
You
and
know?
then just give it back.
and then give it back. You
Yeah.
go, I don't like the way it
Yeah,
fits.
but you
Well,
can't
you
furnish
think you
it.
should do that with everything. In
Everything,
life, though,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just try out a friend.
Try out a friend, yeah. You go,
yeah.
hey, this is
It's
not
not
for
quite what
me.
I expected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's not for
Let's
me.
move on from
Yeah.
our
Like you
relationship.
can eat at a restaurant 3 or 4 times before you decide to actually pay.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Let me try the veal palm.
I'm not. I'll come by and try the chicken next week, and we'll see how
It
that
better
works.
be better than this.
Yeah,
Get your mini Donnie or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So they think the other thing too is people should maybe put in their purchase and sale. It has to appraise out that purchase price.
it has to meet what your expectation is.
Yeah, but a lot of the brokers hate that because then their offer doesn't look as attractive
Right.
as other people's offers who don't have that in there.
Yeah.
But if you're really concerned about trying to make sure you didn't overpay, that
Yeah.
might be one of the ways. Plus,
You know, even in my neighborhood, which is like in the real estate world is Shangri-La.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It is, yeah.
There's been several properties on the street that they have
Yeah.
taken off the market
Because they weren't getting what
because they weren't getting what they perceive they should be getting.
Yeah.
And they were
Speculation.
astronomical prices too, by the way. I mean, they're
Really?
ridiculous. But people
Well, what happens, I think, is, the market is correcting itself a little bit. It was
Right.
crazy for a while.
Right.
So I don't think a lot of sellers have caught on to that quite yet.
that it's not what it.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Right.
you're not going to get 200 offers on every home. You
Right.
might still get 10, 15, but,
Right.
Might not be as crazy. But
Right. These are multi-million-dollar homes.
Your neighborhood's never going to go
No,
down.
it'll always be.
It might not
somewhere.
appreciate
As much.
Right, but it's still going to
Right.
keep going up.
Right.
That's so desirable. You
Yeah.
can walk to the garden, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can see the back of the garden from my house.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly.
It's great if you worked for the circus.
Yeah. Well, the once every 3 years they do a show at the garden, opening for somebody, or comics come home or something.
Dave Chappelle.
I go. I can walk to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's the next time you guys doing Comics Come Home?
2032. Because I'm going to have to actually go somewhere and then
And
come
then
back.
come home. Right. It's not comic stayed home.
Right.
Yeah. It's a different thing. Yeah.
Unanticipated repair fees seems to be up there. But again,
if you have it inspected before,
You
hit
would
it right on the
know.
head.
Right.
why would it be?
Everyone thinks the home inspection is just there to get out of the deal.
No,
But it
it's
should be there to tell you what's going to be the problems down the road.
Exactly.
And then go, get an estimate on how much those costs are going to be.
Yeah,
So it
I mean,
shouldn't
you
be
got to
like a
look for
mystery.
termites. You got to look
Right.
for.
So you're going to have to spend
Does
this
this
amount.
house actually? It said they
Right.
never get water, but there seems like a water stain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Put a marble on the floor, see if it rolls.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
happened with the condo guy there.
Yeah.
'Cause these seem to be a little uneven. Yeah, so, but you're right. Just do a home inspection. They're going to tell you what problems you're going to have down the road. Those home inspectors love to bring up stuff.
Oh yeah.
They love to show off.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're going to need this.
They'll
you're gonna
find
need-
something up in there. There's a hole up there, and bats are getting in. I didn't see that.
Right.
Well, the bats took off. You saw the house at night.
You didn't see that? Yeah, so that's an easy fix, I would think.
Yeah.
Right? And then just go get the estimates.
Get the estimate. And I think you sort of sloughed over it, but comps. See
Exactly.
what the neighborhood will bear.
Yeah,
of course.
exactly.
And you also got to look at the taxes on the house in the area.
Yeah.
Oh my
The
God,
wa-
this
what-
is why
what's-
you guys
what's
are
the-
on here. You guys are like
What's the
most
water
learned
bill
re-
look like? It's like, wait a minute, I didn't
you're
pay
already-
that much to flush my toilet when I was in Brookline.
Right.
Now I'm out here in the suburbs. I thought I had a septic. No, there's no more septic systems.
No.
Oh,
It's a lot more expensive to go to the bathroom around here. Is that what you're
it
thinking?
really is.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
really
yeah.
is.
Plus, speaking of repairs, you got to call our 128 plumbing heating.
Yeah, I'm looking for a new heating system. So.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to call our friend
Yeah.
Lindsay
It seems
Sabatelli.
it seems like heat pumps are the way people are going these days.
Oh, they'll
Yeah.
tell you everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And-
come spring, I'm trying to get through this winter,
okay.
and because I can't do it now. I got
Yeah.
tenants and would have to.
So
shut
we're gonna
things
hook you up
off
with
and-
128 plumbing, heating,
Yeah.
and cooling,
Yeah,
and
they seem
electric.
good,
and-
yeah.
No, they're unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
That's what if I had to do it over again, I'd be a plumber.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Jesus, yes.
So 128 plumbing and heating.
Right out of high school.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Forget college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6
Oh,
years of
plumbers
that
make a
junk.
ton of money.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
And you need them.
Yeah,
You need
everybody
'em.
needs
You know what
them.
I mean?
Recession proof.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
recession proof. Yeah.
So Lindsay was good enough once we had some problem over the last winter. Remember when everything froze?
Yes.
So she got 128 plumbing heating there.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, that's so nice. They took time out to. So then the next weekend they had an ad saying, we had 2,500 calls and we took care of every one of them. I said, oh, I was only one of 2,500.
25.
Yeah, special.
I still felt special though.
Of course.
So you hit like 2, 3, and 4 there, Arthur, Mr. Pharmacist.
See, I
So
know things.
You know things. So you, so utility bills, people don't understand.
Right.
Oil, you have oil or gas?
We have gas. I always have gas.
Here's another
But the
thing.
house also has gas.
Another thing is, how's the Wi-Fi connection?
There you go.
And you know what I mean?
That's
Because down in
important.
Provincetown, it's horrible.
Is
It's
it?
horrible. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It's like you couldn't get stuff and in the school systems for the kids. It's like
Right.
they can't even get online.
Oh,
you
that's
know?
a good point.
So, I
So you
mean,
should probably check into
most
that.
of the places are very good. But, I mean, sometimes you go out, if you're in the White Mountains, say,
Yeah.
or something like that. Oh, the Great Cottage. Do you have any Wi-Fi? No.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Right. I wish I'd known that.
Yeah, beforehand.
There's a good post-closing remorse
Yeah.
from a buyer. So maybe you want to look into
No
that a little
Wi-Fi,
bit.
yeah,
No
that-
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi connection.
Jeez, I didn't know you'd come up with that as one of the top two
because
or three.
I've lived in places where they
Right.
don't have any Wi-Fi.
Right.
It's like
It does change your life, how much we're dependent on it.
Sure,
so.
you might want to. You also might want to check who your neighbors are.
yeah.
Should do that.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
there could be a crabby person in
Do you have
the
any crabby
neighborhood.
people in your neighborhood?
We have a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's got that guy not Jeffrey Dahmer.
Not Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer lives next to you. Not that
Not
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Dahmer. No, that'd be weird.
I always think about that when people having kids and then later in life, that name really. Let me give you my example.
Adolf.
Adolf
Not a big
is a
name.
good
I
one.
was supposed to be named Adolf.
Yeah.
Adolfo
Really?
was my grandfather's
Yeah.
name. Yeah.
Yeah.
They gave it to my
You
cousin.
were born in the 50s. What were they thinking?
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're usually the son of the
Oh,
oldest
okay.
is
Right.
named after the
Yeah.
grandfathers. But so they gave it to my cousin,
Oh,
Adolfina. So, and we call her Dolly.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
we did a closing for Ronald McDonald.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was almost going to ask, it was almost like, I can't ask. 10,000 people have probably asked the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
How'd your life go as,
Right, right.
as a Ronald McDonald?
McDonald.
So,
How did it go? He's got name remorse.
so
Yeah.
lawn care adds up, right?
Yeah.
Snow removal, cleaning costs, all this stuff adds up that you don't know about. Oh, you don't. You
No,
don't,
you
you
just
don't remove
shovel
your
it
snow?
yourself. What's the big deal? If you shovel and mow. What is
So
it?
you evidently don't
That's
have any
expected.
remorse.
That's not. Yeah. That's not.
All right.
That
all
shouldn't
right.
be a big concern.
Yeah.
Utility
That's not
bills about that, closing costs
Closing
they didn't
costs.
know about.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so you
What's
get,
the average closing cost?
Depends.
Is there a percentage? Is there a calculation?
There is some of it's calculated by the purchase price, so it'll depend on like title insurance. It's
Yeah.
a good point. So they should be getting owner's title insurance. Maybe we'll save that for another show. But owner's title insurance they should be getting.
Yeah.
So that's factored by how much your mortgage amount is and how much
Right.
your purchase price is. So, but a lot of people don't know about that because it is optional.
Right.
So all of a sudden, if they're getting hit with a $3,500 fee for title insurance, they go, "Ooh, I didn't know about that."
Can you write that off, though?
I don't think you can write that one off.
Oh.
But again, like we prefaced it, call your accountant.
Call
on
your
this.
accountant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So now I got to get an accountant.
well, watch,
We got a good account.
watch the real estate accountant party then, okay? So let's see. There's another fee that if you're buying in New Hampshire,
Yeah.
that people don't know about. State tax stamps for a buyer. Like if you sold your property now, I remember you were thinking about selling your
Well,
property.
my daughter's got 2 properties in New Hampshire.
Okay.
So she's thinking of selling one when the other house is finished that they're working on.
Okay.
Right.
So if say
She's
sold-
going to need you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Help me or Tony. We'll be fine. Yeah. So let's just make up an example. Say she was selling a house for $1 million.
Right.
That would be $15 per thousand of state tax split between buyer and seller. And a lot of buyers don't know this.
So $750 each.
7,500.
Seven-
Yeah, it's
15,500.
15,000
Yeah,
total.
exactly. So when she sells, she'd have to pay $7,500 as a seller. And then if she buys a house in New Hampshire, there's another $7,500 she'd have to pay if she was buying that $1 million house.
What if she buys it from herself?
Oh.
Because they have the
Would she
2
give
houses.
herself a good deal?
No.
Oh.
She's a tough
She's
negotiator.
gonna
I
rip
know his daughter.
She's going to rip
Yeah.
herself off.
I'd like to see that in process. So that was another regret. Not
New
knowing-
Hampshire's a little different,
It is.
you know. And
It
plus,
is.
you can have a break on your taxes if you're considered a farm.
Oh, yeah.
And which means all you got to do is grow some tomatoes and put them for sale out in front of your house.
Right. If you,
And if you have a barn, a lot of them build barns.
Yeah.
Just to say,
yeah, if you just have like land use only, you
Right.
can get away. But then once you change that use of it, then it catches up with everyone.
right.
Where's she buying? Oh, should we
She's
say?
not buying. She has.
I mean,
it.
where does she
She's
own?
in Jaffrey.
Oh, okay.
you know,
Oh, I knew that.
And then she's got a place in Mason.
Okay.
Which is right over the
Yeah.
Townsend line.
Okay. All right. How'd she meander up to New Hampshire from?
She went to school at Riviera University.
Okay. All right.
You know.
And she met a fella.
Oh,
She
okay.
met a
And
fella.
There it goes.
And
from
that's-
And
there.
she didn't even graduate.
Yeah. Okay.
Cost me like $300,000.
To not get to the finish line. Jesus. You know, my
Speaking of remorse,
I have college
Yeah.
remorse.
you,
I have.
you don't want to call that one back in?
my son did that to me. I sent it. He went to Emerson and took his last semester out in Los Angeles, in Hollywood.
Really?
Yeah, and so I drove him out there. We drove cross country, and I set him up. And then he started working on the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Okay.
As his internship, but they were paying him.
Okay.
And then they hired him.
Yeah.
So he goes, Dad, I'm not going to finish.
Well, why would he?
I go, what?
So
you're
close,
this
though.
close.
I
You know,
know.
he goes, yeah, but if I got this job the day after graduation, everyone would be going, yay, good for you. He goes, I got it now. Why do I need? I go, no, you need the paper because something else is going to happen,
Yeah.
please. And we're $240,000 into it. I go, you might as well use it for toilet paper. It's not.
Well, what happened? Did he go?
He did. No, he finished.
Okay.
He did
All
finish
right.
because and God bless Jimmy Kimmel. They took him on as they didn't have technically interns, so
Yeah.
they hired him.
Right.
And they kept him on all through the pandemic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they said, "We'll tell the school whatever you need us to tell them." You know what I mean? Whatever
Jimmy
paper.
Kimmel?
Yeah. He goes, whatever paperwork we need to fill out, just go fill it out. Whatever they need, they'll
So
we'll
he was
get.
like interning or
Yeah.
something. He should get the credits for
Yeah,
it.
so he'd get the credit
so
for
he
it.
could graduate.
And he was making a living.
Oh, I love that Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, he's the best.
He is.
Yeah.
My Lisa actually did finish.
Oh, she did.
Oh, she
Yeah.
did. Go,
Okay.
Did she go back and finish?
One more course.
Yeah.
It cost me another $1,000.
Yeah.
For one course.
Yeah,
So-
Gus had to.
But at that point,
It was
what's
worth
another
like,
$1,000?
here you
Yeah,
go.
Yeah.
I think Gus had to do that. He had to take like something in the summer to
Yep.
finish up.
And they all made
And
it.
she was working at the time
Yeah.
at the daycare. As a
Our
teacher.
producer's checking out the time right now. We might have to have a part 2 on this.
Oh, we over?
And we're over. And
Well, look at that game. I'm always going over.
all right, so you can come back next week without a problem?
Let me check my schedule. Yep.
Thanks for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party. Tony V, Artie Januario, and no Kathy Holtshouser. She might be back in a couple weeks. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.